Hey guys, this is going to be a video on what 80 carries should be building on patch 4.10 now that all the items have been changed. And in this video I'll be covering who I think are the top 5 strongest 80 carries at the moment. I'll be covering the rest of them in a part 2 and possibly part 3. So first I'm going to be going over the item changes very briefly. I know most of you have already read them, but I just want to quickly go through how they affected things. So the Bloodthirster now is actually pretty useless because before it was known for a great item to snowball a lane if you were getting an early lead, because it had stacking AD that went to 100 and of course stacking lifesteal. Now it has the same AD as an Infinity Edge, so if you're a caster you'll get the exact same AD from an Infinity Edge, and it's only 300 gold cheaper than an Infinity Edge. So it also gives a passive shield that really doesn't have that many uses, and that makes it now a defensive item option, which is going to be pretty bad in all cases. Next is the Infinity Edge. It's best used on longer ranged marksmen. The only thing that changed was the AD that went to 80, but it's more the fact that Bloodthirster got nerfed. So this one's better on longer range marksmen because you'll get the crits off more easily, and it's also great for those looking to scale into the late game. It does delay your power spike though, because it won't be really great until you get more attack speed. And that is a big problem that people are having with Infinity Edge, is that it really does delay your power spike, and that's pretty annoying. But otherwise it has the same flat AD value as the Bloodthirster now. And next is Blade of the Ruined King. So this one was changed a bit. Its active does less damage and it's less useful, but the passive auto attack on hit percent current health damage is a lot stronger. So it's great for shorter ranged auto attack reliant marksmen like Vayne. Great for duelists, also like Vayne, and it synergizes very well with percent health damage like Vayne and true damage and armor pen. So it's become a lot better item, especially because since nobody really gets Bloodthirster anymore, it gives lifesteal. So that's what happened to Blade. Now Youmuu's was getting more popular before on Twitch, and now it's actually really good for a lot of different marksmen because the active lasts 6 seconds from 4, and it gives both attack speed and move speed. It's very useful. It synergizes really well with Bork because you'll be able to use the active to close the distance, and then you can use Bork active to stay in, and also the attack speed will proc your Bork passive more obviously. And then it's really great for duelists as well, and it makes any champion mobile because it'll give you 6 seconds of movement speed. So it's really a great option right now, and a lot of 80 carries will actually build it now. So the last item I want to talk about is Static Shiv. Nothing about Shiv actually changed, but because so many people are building Infinity Edge now, Shiv is a lot more powerful, because since Infinity Edge delays your power spike, Static Shiv will help with that, because since it gives 100 magic on hit damage, and it's AoE as well, it will boost your damage in the mid game when you're lacking a bit. So I expect Static Shiv to be a lot more popular, and the great thing is, if you really want a Phantom Dancer, you can sell it. You can sell your Shiv late game and just pick up a Phantom Dancer and it'll be like the same thing. So those are the items, and now let's get to champions. So the first champion I'm going to be getting into is Lucien. Lucien before this patch was by far the strongest marksman out there, and now he's not as strong, but I think he's still pretty good. So the build I took straight from Tabs' Ask FM. Tabs is the 80 carry for Alliance, if you don't know who that is. And he recommended right after you start with the Dorn's Blade, you go straight into Bilgewater Cutlass, and then a Trinity Force, and then finish your Blade. He also mentioned that Youmuu's and Infinity Edge are really good on him as well. Now, the thing with going into Bilgewater and then Triforce is that will really delay your power spike until you get the Triforce. So if you really don't like that, you can go into Blade first and then Triforce, or you can stick with this and just sort of sit out the power spike wait. So the thing with this build is that it really changes Lucien's playstyle, because now he's a lot more like Vayne, where you'll use the active on the Youmuu's to like run into a fight, then you'll use your blade active and also your W and Triforce to be really mobile during the fight and be able to chase targets down, and you'll have a lot of burst with your Q, double shot, or whatever skill you want, the double shot passive, and then with that with the Triforce proc and the increased on hit damage on the Blade of the Ruined King, which is going to proc twice with your passive. So he does a lot of damage as always, but he has a little weaker early game, and I think his playstyle did change a little bit with this patch. The next champion to talk about is Kaitlyn, and Kaitlyn is actually pretty strong on this patch because she loves getting Infinity Edge first, because unlike other champions, since she has such a long range, getting one auto attack off is pretty common and pretty easy to do, like when your enemy's CSing, just get an auto off. and with Infinity Edge, that's really great. It doesn't really matter that you don't have attack speed, because when you're poking them, you'll probably just get one auto anyways. So what's the attack speed needed for? Now that's of course assuming you're still in lane phase, which is very possible you might not be. So, I mean, it's not perfect, but it does work on her pretty well. Plus she loves the AD for her Q and other ratios. So the only thing is that you also want to go double Dorans, because with only one Dorans, you're only going to have 3% lifesteal, assuming you don't have any Quints. So it's really good to get 2 Dorans just for the extra lifesteal and also the extra survivability and lane power. Especially since she's a lane bully, she'll love to get double Dorans anyways. So that's the build I recommend, is just going double Dorans, Infinity Edge, and then you can go into a normal standard build with like Shiv, Blast Whisper, that kind of thing. And it's time for everyone's favorite AD carry, who is, of course, Vayne. Now, people have always played Vayne, whether she's good, whether she's bad, whatever, just because she's fun to play. And so, you'll be pleased to know that she's pretty strong in this patch. The Blade of the Rune King active nerf did hurt her a bit, but the passive buff was really nice, and Youmuu's, gosh, it's crazy on her. The extra 6 seconds of movement speed and attack speed will really help you in 1v1s, not that she needed help before, but she's even stronger now, which is great, and it'll also help in teamfights a lot, so really recommend this build. It's crazy fun to play as well, so Vayne players rejoice. Now for KogMaw. KogMaw's power has been sort of creeping up for a little bit, and people have been saying he's one of the best AD carries out there for a little bit, but nobody really plays him that much, and I think that it's probably going to change with this patch. Now, in solo queue, he's always going to have the problem of the fact that he needs a coordinated team to peel for him, so that's always going to be a problem because he's super immobile, but we'll see how it goes. He's definitely strong right now, and his build really didn't change much from what you're building before. If you don't know what to build on him anyways, I'll just go through it. It's Blade of the Rune King, which synergizes extremely well with him when he has his W on. He's got the long attack range, and he's already got % max health damage. Blade of the Rune King is great for that, plus it makes him a little more mobile as well. Now, the next thing you want to get is a Triforce, and this is popularized back at Worlds by Genja, of all people. And not that that's a surprise that he tried it, but more like that it caught on. And it's really nice because it makes him more mobile, and you can proc the Sheen passive on your R, which is going to be up all the time. So it's a really great item on him, and it makes mid game a lot stronger. So if you haven't tried this guy out or this build out, I'd really recommend you do, because it's actually really strong, and you'll do a lot of damage even to tanks. So there's KogMaw. Last but not least is Twitch, and Twitch was nerfed, which is unfortunate, but he's definitely, in my opinion, still amongst the top 5 strongest AD carries on this patch. He's still strong for the same reasons he was before. You can stealth and make picks and do a ton of teamfight damage with your rat-a-tat-tat, or whatever you want to call it, especially with a Ghost Blade. And so the build is the exact same, Blade of the Rune King into Ghost Blade, and although he's a little more punishing for getting caught than he was before, he's still pretty good. So nothing about his build changed. If you played him before, you'll still be able to play him, and that's going to be it. So those are all the AD carries and all the items I want to go over. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll be getting the part 2 and part 3 out as soon as I can, and I'll see you guys next time.